Hey, it's Ethan with ComTech. So today I wanted to go over a question that I probably get once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, and that is Office 365 backed up by Microsoft? So unfortunately, as this gentleman is saying here, the answer is no. By default, Microsoft does not back up your email, your OneDrive, your SharePoint, that sort of thing. They use a technology called Replication, which I'll show you, I'll demonstrate here in just a moment, but it is not backed up. Microsoft actually goes to great lengths to say you need to back up your data using a third-party provider. We don't back it up. So just be aware of that. Now I know a lot of people go, hey, do we really need to back up our email? Office 365 is just email, correct? Well, in the past that has been the case, and depending on how your business works, I know for our business, a lot of our business goes through email. We need to house all those emails, and we need to make sure we keep copies of them to make sure we don't lose anything, because that's all of our correspondence. But now Microsoft has done a really, really good job of making you a bit more sticky in that they're including OneDrive, they're including SharePoint. There's these other things where you're storing all of your documents inside of Office 365. So keep that in mind when you think about, do I back Office 365 up or not? If you're storing all of your files in OneDrive and SharePoint, that sort of thing, it's more than just your email. It's not only your email correspondence, it may be all of your documents for your company, it may be all of your documents for your own personal stuff. So keep that in mind that it is a lot of different things. I just grabbed one quick screenshot to demonstrate it. Now, everybody always says when I say, hey, it's not backed up, it's replicated. What does that mean? So what I wanted to do, I wanted to show you what that meant. So if this is your cell phone or your Outlook, whatever it may be, when you're viewing an email, it's technically over here on a server sitting at Microsoft. Let's say this is the East Coast, is fine. They have servers, they have data centers all around the country and all around the globe that email will replicate from here to here, and it'll replicate across multiple data centers. That all makes sense. This is great because if East Coast is wiped out or West Coast is wiped out, all the data is still sitting over here. Everything is good. Now, how is that different from backup? If we flip to the next screen, what we're going to do is we're going to have the exact same thing. So it's still going to go up here. Everything's replicated the exact same way. What the difference is we're going to have a totally separate third-party provider or some other method that's up here that is getting a copy, and I'll actually show you here. Let me show you what this looks like. So it's replicated here, it's replicated here. Now, what actually this backup system is actually doing is it is saying, hey, I'm going to take a copy from this, okay? I'm going to take a copy and it's going to sit up there. Now, what's beneficial about that and what's so different about that is, let's say that you have an employee, and this is the reason why replication isn't an end-all be-all solution. Because let's say you have an employee that at the end of their shift, they say, hey, I'm going to quit tomorrow, or I'm going to quit tonight, and I want to just kind of destroy everything that I've done here, and I don't want the company to know that I've sent their entire customer list over to my new employer. So if they go in and do that, what they're going to do is say, hey, I want to delete everything. So when they do that and say that if you only have replication, then it tells the server, hey, delete everything here, delete everything here, delete everything here. That's bad, obviously. What's going to happen though is if you have a backup, that system is going to say, hey, I have copies of everything. And I actually believe here, I have another thing. So this is, imagine on that backup system, just think about it kind of like a file or a folder structure where they have sitting on a shelf. January 1st, it looks in and says, hey, I'm going to grab a copy of all that data. January 2nd, I'm going to grab a copy of all that data. So when that employee goes and does that, then they may have deleted everything here. We can just go back and say, hey, January 2nd was the day before they did that. Pull that off the shelf, restore it, and that's what Office 365 backup is. So we highly recommend it. I know I just used a really bad example of an employee doing that maliciously. What's probably more likely is an employee doing that accidentally. So in some manner, they maybe don't delete the whole email box, but maybe they only delete one email that they really needed, and it ended up replicating and they can't get it back. So think about not just completely malicious, think about it from that aspect. That's the difference between replication and backup. If you have any questions whatsoever, go out to our website, leave a comment below. We'd love to talk with you. Hopefully this makes sense, but if you didn't pick up anything through this entire video other than Office 365 by default is not backed up, then I got my point across. Hope you have a great day.